Yes, welcome back from the commercial break. You are still with Dr. Joseph Tindeva together with our dear guest, the Commissioner for Kampala Metropolitan City, and none other than Mr. Fred Bamwine. And I'm ably informed that it is indeed a promotion that you were given, granted a more bigger responsibility coming from a background where you were serving in those old units. Thank you, sir.
Most welcome.
And also together with Mr. Akim Kiza, the Lord Councillor, in charge for works and infrastructure, physical planning. We continue to earmark some of other areas that needs attention. The subject matter of slums remains unresolved. When I was entering in Kampala here, a young man, around 1992-93, I was able to be aware that there was one of a well-built place that was enabling people to live well, that is the Bugolobi Flats. And I was again told that Bugolobi Flats was constructed during the days of Obote regime for purpose of, improving of the lives of the people, the housing system. Mr. Akim, having realized that you are in a ministry that is supposed to be dealing with physical planning, the construction of roads, there are two challenges. I'm going to talk about the slum and maybe the way forward, which you may be having for us. The slum issue and the plan may be having, as you say, that we will not invent the will of others. What we have as a plan for Kampala, so that we can, reduce the level of slum areas. Number two, the tarmac roads, which we are appreciating, those which are constructed and others which are not yet constructed. I'm very much concerned tonight as a moderator. They seem to be of a short-lived. You construct a road today, after 2 years, already, potholes everywhere. It's a concern, our dear RDC commissioner, that is again pertinent. Yet, even the little money, I'm talking about efficiency. The money we are talking about, the other billions invested in infrastructure, all of a sudden, the people in Kampala, those who are driving, they say this road was constructed yesterday, but potholes everywhere. And the people who have constructed are known. I'd like to receive your input and welcome again the commissioner of maybe how are we going to do it better. And don't forget about also the unemployment vis-a-vis the government programs to reduce unemployment.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tindiewa. First of all, the entire capital city is in a mess in regards to planning. Even RCC Commissioner Bamwine talked about the right of way when KCCA is acquiring land when we are making constructions, either roads or drainages, where people cannot give in their land and they come crying for compensations. These are issues which we are just inheriting. The issue of planning was very, very much important at the initial stages of the city. I can just give you an example of Kampala Road because it is the main road in Kampala. You see, from the peripherals of the road up to where the constructions of building was built, do we have a road reserve? Was it built just recently, or it was built years back? So the question of planning was missed in those days. That's why you find so many people talking about the issue of relocating the city to some other areas. There are some issues we cannot recorrect. Totally. If I may ask you now, the government wants to introduce the buses. You want to maintain the lanes for the matatus. You want to maintain the lane for buses. You want to maintain lanes for pedestrian. You want to maintain roads for cyclists. Where do you get that space?
1 second. Don't you think what our Commissioner Fred was saying, that at times we need a positive dictatorship, but through the law?
Not positive, it is called guided democracy.
That is the one we have called.
For that?
To locate these people who are complaining you've touched their building, they be the one to locate, and then maybe we do it right. Even if some people complain on the way, they will be happy.
For me, that's why even sometimes I praise the late Idi Amin Dada.
Oh.
A positive dictator sometimes is needed in some countries. But however, who owns that land? Do you call it a KCCA land? Someone has a title? Because no one is approved to build along these roads and even the entire city without the ownership of land. Someone has already acquired a title. So does that land belong to KCCA or to government? Are you going to forcefully remove them without any compensation? So the question, the issue is, from the initial stages of putting up a city,
It was messed up. Yeah, they are.
So he's talking about the compensations that people sometimes don't have that spirit and interest of giving out land to KCCA. These are people owning that land, little land in Kampala. You want them to move away without any compensation? Good enough. When we are receiving money, for example, as we are receiving this money for African Development Bank, for road construction, the 75 kilometers, and he was talking about 250 kilometers from Colas, that is UK. That is, those are funds we are yet to get, not yet here. When they give you a donation or a loan, these development partners, the issue of compensation is put to the government of Uganda. But always what I've experienced, whenever we talk about the compensation, the government does not avail money, the government does not have money. Compensation is removed from a vote called road fund. All these charges which are got from these roads, they are housed under that bucket called road fund. We have been receiving 25 billion annually for maintenance of those potholes and others and compensations. Just in this current financial year, where we needed like 50 billions for this item, the government just reduced.
So there is a challenge of compensation, then there also the poor planning, and also because of the law.
Entirely poor planning.
Having said that, I'm coming to you on that because I'm worried of time. You are very much concerned of a certain population, age bracket of the youth. And the city that you are presiding as a minister matters not your docket, but generally, unemployment question remains unresolved. Yet the government, family, introduces a number of programs to provide employment opportunities, including the recent one, the Youth Livelihood Program, and many more others, where they were reaching out to some, where you had the ghetto, groups, all that. Do you think in 1 or 2 minutes that there is something done, or maybe it needs to be recollected, redirected in a better way to solve unemployment?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. But again, I may not want to give a sketchy explanation and a detail of this information. Because you posed a question, 2 questions, and I was just giving out a background to answer the questions. Now you are chipping in another question.
I had talked about the issue of unemployment.
You see, when you
I can give you
when
more
you are
3
talking
minutes.
about when I'm giving out this information, I don't want to be wrongly perceived by the public.
Okay.
So first of all, you asked in 1 minute about the slum. What we need to believe, 90% or 85% of the entire Kampala is in swamp. And that one, yes, and that one should not be an excuse as of now. Because when you go to the Chinese, the Japanese, they even build on water, even German. So should we continuously talk about the swamp? Then another question is, do we still have swamps in Kampala that we need to retain? Because almost everywhere is occupied. So I think to build a new city, we need to know that it was already sacrificed, let it go, and modernize the what? The city. 2, we have a challenge with government officials, most especially the technicals, where I asked why a road is constructed today and it spends 1 to 3 years.
Yes.
And moreover, they give guarantees. They call them guarantees. For example, there is a road which goes to Emerald Hotel down there. where Starlink constructed and gave a guarantee of 3 years.
3 years.
But before the second year, the road began to sink down. Myself, I wrote a note to Starlink that you said that whatever maintenance to be done here is by you. Then those people almost took 6 months minus coming back. So sometimes even the influence in giving out contracts.
I'm interested in that. Was anything then finally done after your intervention? Because you did a good job.
After 6 months, they made some reconstruction. But even up to today, I passed there today morning, the reconstruction which was made, it has already been washed away by maybe water and whatever. So some of these issues and the challenges we have starts from the time of giving out contracts. Because every contractor you see here has a godfather behind. Majority of them, the procurement departments of KCCA, much as they do some work, but many times it is for rubber stamping. This is one of the issues. If the government want to utilize well the good money we get from most of these roads, we get money from donors. Let the government, the anti-corruption, go in too deep of these things. Otherwise, we are still losing a lot of money. Do you know that constructing a single kilometer here in Kampala requires 8 to 10 billions?
Yeah,
but when you go to Masaka, a single kilometer can even be constructed by 1 billion or less than that money.
We are summing it up. What's your last word as we are ending the program? As you come,
I want to take this opportunity to thank the management of this television and also to welcome my colleague, Commissioner Bamwine. She has raised a number of good issues. Actually, I pray to give you support if you are upright and very straight in what you have said. So what we need is to offer service to the people of Kampala, because today we are the leaders, but in the next years we are not the ones. But we will still live in the same state. I want to thank the viewers and the people of Kampala, entirely the people of Rubaga North and Rubia, those who interested me to be their leaders. We will try to serve alongside all the challenges of security of the Minister of Mines and other people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. The way you thank you, Lord Councillor Akim Kiza, the way you come and articulate your issues, and yet again on point. I would like to come the Commissioner and maybe to put right on some of the questions I was asking. With the concern, the government injects a lot of money in some programs to help the youth, especially. I will may take you, because of time, 3 minutes to go on the issue of realizing the job creation, especially in this urban center.
Now, before I proceed, there are things I need to put right.
You have 3 minutes, sir.
Because we don't lead the country out of vacuum.
I understand.
So the issue of underfunding cannot be solved tomorrow.
I've heard you.
Because these funds are drawn from the national coffers. So the question would be, how much money are you generating as a country in relation to the country's needs? But the little money that you get, how is it being utilized? Two, nobody should deceive himself or herself that you have a silver bullet to all problems of the city as an individual. You need to network as a team. The more you continue looking at yourself in a cocoon, the more challenges will remain around. But the most important one, which Akim deliberately avoided to talk about, is the issue of politicizing service delivery. If somebody has stolen money, if somebody has done the work,
yeah, he hinted on that, and he said there are some good fathers behind the scenes.
A minister in authority can say there are some good fathers. What I would expect of him is to say, this is a letter to the IGG, this is a letter on corruption, this is a letter to Director CID,
investigate.
then we see that those agencies are failing to do their work.
And then that's a good guidance, Mr. Kim.
You see, in the Bible, there's a book of lamentation. And me, the little time I've been in leadership, I don't like to lament. Actually, my biggest challenge is when I see people nagging, I take head of them. If I was him, I would immediately make sure that investigating agencies are drawn on board quickly.
Commissioner, I want to be...
I know the road mayor where he serves with him. He's not a small person and not a simple one.
Yes.
I would expect them to say, no, this government money, we cannot allow it to go to the door. Mr. Director of Corruption Unit, IGG, Director CID, coming, DPP. So otherwise, if you say, there are some good fathers.
Okay, you give us your last word because of time. Last word.
I hope you invite me again.
I will invite you next Monday.
There are many programs.
Yes, sir.
Geared to help in terms of unemployment. But you see, the challenge we still have as a country. Employment, we still believe that it is people who are in office and putting on a tie. That's still a challenge. I want to give myself as an example. I stay in a challenge. Before I come to your government work, 4 a.m. I'm in my cows. I have a zero grazing unit. I must first go to these cows, clean them, milk them.
Would you conclude it as your advisor?
Therefore, you, the youth, and not even the youth, everybody who's staying in this town, the biggest question is, what are you doing that can bring you money or food to your table? Where are you failing? Because I know they are running programs in Kampala, Youth Livelihood is there, NADS is there, Enyoga is there, PDM has come. So these are government initiatives, but it's supposed to supplement your efforts.
Thank you.
It is like when it rains and you have not bothered to start with this water, people will meet you in the way with a jerrycan to fetch water. Please, whether you like it or not, if you don't want to work, if you don't want to move yourself, chances and luck will not find you in your comfort zone.
The commissioner, dear viewers, everyone wants to work as called for real work, and is emphasizing the government programs are there, but they will not first force you or put a rope in you to benefit, but you want also to see honesty in those programs to ensure that everybody participates and gets benefits. I appreciate dear guests to have come in this very wonderful program. Until next Monday, and I promise you, so long as it will be available, I will bring back again issue of urbanization. The bigger population in the country lives in urban areas, and we want to see the economic transformation of our people. Good night, until I see you next time as we wait for the news hour. It was a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.